The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows all over the state of Alabama from 5 until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on WVNN in Huntsville. Then you have the fastest hour of radio anywhere on your radio dial from 10 until 11 on News Radio 1440 in Montgomery, Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, and then you can hear that show again 3 to 4 on the ump in Huntsville. You just can't get enough of me. You can always go to yellowhammernews.com, and I got tons of stuff there as well.
That sounds like plenty.
Yeah, is that enough? No
That's
more?
enough.
No
That's
more.
enough.
All right, there we go. We also have Mecca Music, smart enough not to have 7 radio shows. Smart News for Smart People at 256today.com. She is the CEO, and we have got a great show for you today. Cameron Smith will be with us from AL.com. He'll be joining us. We'll have a couple conversations with him about important things going on all over the state of Alabama. And I've got a parting shot for you as well. But let's go ahead and get right to it, folks. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Becca, there is a lot of stuff happening, and it was supposed to happen this week. I remember reading stories last Sunday and Monday where people told me the first thing that comes up, it's going to be gambling. The House and the Senate, they're going to try to figure this out. Well, the House is not going to concur with what the Senate wants. The Senate is not going to concur with what the House wants. They're going to have a conference committee, and it's totally happening soon. I keep being told, but again, second week in a row, we're going to be told this. Can they get anything done? Can they go with lottery plus status quo, which is basically what the Senate wants, or an expansion of gambling, which is what the House wants? Can they come up with something somewhere in the middle? And one of the things that happened last week, Mecca, also, I just want to kind of point this out, is Steve Marshall said they're full of it. If you're telling us that we've got to pass something new in order to shut down all the illegal gambling,
right,
they're lying. That's basically what
That's
he's saying.
what you've said many times.
It is a lie. Get the bulldozer out.
The
Let's go.
bulldozer line,
Let's
right.
go. So, can they get it done?
It's looking pretty dicey. It's looking a little dicey at this point. You did have Speaker Daniels, Anthony Daniels, come out this week. I think he was speaking from the BCA or something, and did spoke in favor of getting something passed. He's
a roadblock, though.
He pointed out that a lot of the funding could be used for early childhood education, which is an issue he cares deeply about.
He also wanted Medicaid expansion.
There's that.
So he's throwing out all these roadblocks. He's not taking down roadblocks. He's setting up new roadblocks. Right?
He is expressing his support.
I agree.
In his own way.
Yes, everyone is in favor of gambling. Like I've said this before.
Well, I think there's varying degrees of support.
I agree with that. I've said this before.
Okay.
You give the money to Hamas, it will pass. Once it gets out of the legislature, it's true though. The question is, what do they got to do to get it out of the legislature?
Right.
And that is not clear. And Anthony Daniels, I believe him. No question about what he's saying. They want the money for education. They want the money for Medicaid expansion. They're Democrats. Of course they want that stuff. They've been pushing that all along. And there's nothing wrong with that perspective. But the question is, the more stuff you pile upon this,
right,
the harder it is to get these things passed. And that's why they call it a clean bill. Well, this ain't clean. I mean, dirty's the wrong term for it. But there's just so much stuff here that it's not a clean bill. Neither of these are clean bills, and whatever they're going to come up with is going to be totally different.
But do you think they'll come up with something? I'm having my doubts that they're actually going to be able to get to a yes.
I think they'll come up with something, and it'll be like what we've seen in Congress in D.C., where you had people on the immigration thing where they were trying to come up with an idea, and then they all vote against it. they all get out there and they vote against it. All right, let's move on. Let's get to some stuff they are getting done here in the state of Alabama. Bans. We like banning stuff here in the state. It's actually pretty funny. There was a reporter for AL.com that wrote a tweet that said, these are the big news stories, and 5 of them, they're talking about banning things. Yes, banning divisive concept, banning gay pride flags, banning COVID masks. So you're seeing all these things about bans. And you know why? Because that's exactly what the people of the state want. They've watched their bureaucracy do things that they're not too happy with. Whether you go back to the COVID stuff and you have a conversation about the mandatory masks, they want that to go away in schools. You talk about these divisive concepts, that's going everywhere from space camp to kindergarten, and they've got issues with that. And then you got the pride flags, and you got all this other stuff going on. Now you got DEI being banned from colleges and things like this. They're going ban crazy. I mean, they really are. Now, I support all of this, so I have to be completely honest with you as we have this discussion. But sometimes I sit around going, what else can we ban?
What could be next?
I just got to come up with some stuff because they're doing all the stuff I want them to do. Well, ban library books. Yes, that's next. It's going to be great.
That's terrible. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of partisan, supermajority Republican, red meat issues, popular with voters, popular with their base.
Yeah, so doing politics.
Yeah,
politicians doing politics.
I mean, you have to look at it like, okay, is banning this going to put food on the table for an Alabama? Exactly.
You don't ban pride flags in order to put
that's what I'm saying. They're like, what is the impact?
A
what
straight
is that?
chicken in every pot. That's what you're trying to do.
I mean, the desired impact of this is to fire up that base, keep them happy, and keep them in the supermajority.
These are delivery items.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, like, as far as impact-wise.
Mo Brooks filled in for you last week.
Thank you very much, Mo, for filling
And
in
he
for
said
me.
something pretty interesting on my show. He said, look, they're constantly spending more money. Like the legislature, super Republican majority, they're spending more money. They're coming up with fees. They're doing all these things, gambling. This is how you super serve those people that put you there. So yeah, it's politics. I mean, that's really what it is.
What I said.
I know. I'm agreeing with you. You've got BCA Republicans, corporate Republicans, and then what they're doing is they're doing all those BCA corporate things, and then they're like, and then we ban the gay pride flag, and then so it's like, and they get that. That's how you stave off a primary challenge down the line. And by the way, they're not going to put the space camp ban or the ban on divisive concepts in space camp. I don't think that's going to get done this time. You know why? So they can come back and do it next year. You just keep the thing going.
You got to keep something.
Yeah,
you got to keep something on the table.
I agree with them on that, too. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about a bloodbath. Usually that's how Mecca feels when she leaves here, that she's just been slaughtered. It's been a bloodbath in every conversation that we have, and they tell the truth about what's actually going on. Now, let's back up here on the issue of a bloodbath, because Donald Trump took heat. He's still taking heat for it as of the recording of this show because he used the word bloodbath. And he said that if the auto industry doesn't play by, or excuse me, if we don't play by the rules, China's going to destroy us and the auto industry is going to suffer and it's going to be a bloodbath. That terminology is very regular in politics. My listeners have taken me to task for things I said in 2016. I said, if Donald Trump is the nominee, it's going to be a bloodbath. I was wrong, by the way. They remind me of that all the time, too. But why the insistence on, pretending? I mean, look, they could probably go 30 seconds ahead and 30 seconds past that moment and find something else they could turn into it. But what is cool about this is it highlights what I knew was going to happen. As soon as it's Trump and as soon as it's Biden, the media is going to focus on every single thing he says, and he's going to give them all sorts of red meat to focus on.
But he's going to also give them lots of material to work with.
No, he does
because
these
this
things.
is
Exactly,
because this is Trump we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, that's just a part of it.
But that asks the question.
But it's expected as well.
Right.
Everybody's playing this game, doing this dance.
Right. But that's
and they're
why I
all
ask.
willful partners.
That's why I wrote the words on the screen. If you're listening on radio, you can't see it, but it says, trust me, it says, why the lie?
Yes.
Like, why this? Because all this is a gift.
Right.
It's a gift to Donald Trump to go, he can stand on the stage and be like, hey, look at all those people back there in the back. They're liars. Remember when I said bloodbath for the auto industry? And they said it was going to be
But it's a gift for the other side, too, because they can be like, oh, look at this madman,
Here's the best part about the whole thing. When all of this happened, Joe Scarborough sent a tweet out. And he's like, oh, he already caused a bloodbath. And he put a video of January 6th up there. And then he deleted it when Elon Musk called him out on Twitter. Okay? And everyone's like, oh, okay, that's an admission. Then he goes on television that Monday morning and is like, anyone that thinks that it wasn't a blood, it's like, hold on 1 second. Like, at least take the clown makeup off for a second. Like don't.
He's doing his job.
But no.
Trump's doing his job.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's doing their job.
I have a very similar job to Joe Scarborough's on a much, much, much smaller scale.
You do so much ridiculous stuff.
But
ridiculous.
Point to a moment where I've ever told a lie.
I don't know.
I mean, I know you hate this because we're really good friends in both real life and here, but I never lie.
No, you don't. He doesn't.
And I would not lie.
Like, to a fault, I would like to point out, to a fault.
I know. My personal life would be so much better if I could just tell more lies.
Yeah, it would be.
All right. Yes, Trump gives them the ammunition, but they don't have to lie about it because then they give him ammunition.
Yes.
But yes, it's a dance. That is correct. Moving on. special election here in the state of Alabama coming up on Tuesday. And I loved a story I saw on CNN. And I'm not the only one. Tabitha Eisner, the number 2 Democrat, which is a perfect number for her behavior. The number 2 Democrat in the state of Alabama, Tabitha Eisner, tweeted out that she saw this wonderful story. I was like, I got to go see this thing. So I go and I look at it, and it's the CNN story talking about the race in House District 10. That's Madison. For anyone who knows, it's a bedroom community. And I say that meaning that's
Mike
all
Ball's
that is
old
there.
seat.
Yes.
A lot of people, that's
yes.
Mike Ball's
yes.
old seat.
It is.
That was
a Huntsville suburb, and they think it's trending in the blue direction. That's the perception.
This is true.
Yeah. And also, the last guy who won an election there went to jail. That
was the election voter fraud, former Representative David Cole.
Okay, name I forgot. So
you're welcome.
I know his inmate number though. But let's move on and talk for a second about this special. CNN framed it as abortion. Mm-hmm. That's how they framed it. Teddy Powell comes on the screen and says, one person has talked to me about abortion. Everyone else is talking about the economy and all these other things. And I thought that was interesting. But they wanted to frame it as abortion. What is this battle over? Is it over kitchen table issues? Is it over banning gay pride flags, DEI, or is it over abortion and reproductive rights?
Okay, it has been proven that this is an effective message. Okay,
I agree.
That abortion, that making it a single issue campaign.
Nationally, I agree.
Nationally, but maybe in a district where it's more purplish if you could get there in Alabama. I mean, it perhaps is.
I agree.
Lance is a good candidate, but and Powell, I noticed that he had less screen time on this story, but Powell is talking about, like, listen, there's not single issues facing this district. And, he's really trying to get the word out about all the challenges that everyone's facing.
You're right. And nationally, it's been a thing. I think if the Democrat wins here, Republicans are in big trouble. I know people say you shouldn't look at one thing. I'm not talking about in Alabama. I'm just talking about generally.
Right.
Because not that this district wasn't trending in that direction. And let's just be real. When they redraw districts, when you have a member leaving, sometimes they make that district a little less safe so they can protect everyone around them. Mm-hmm. It's a little chess game.
Because they're the ones in the game. They're still in the room, so they get to make the call on it.
That's here as well. But nationally, if that seat goes blue,
it's going to be a huge deal.
I think it's a much bigger deal than people will make it. This is one time where people will not see what the actual story is. I think it's a huge deal. Maryland lands and Teddy Powell. You have 2 people who seem to be relatively decent candidates.
They're both good candidates. They really are.
But it's almost like the issue, or that doesn't matter. This is the issue here because they're not crazy. Neither can be branded as crazy. So now we're actually going to have a conversation about the issues. The
issues or the issue?
Well, that's the question. We'll find out. But what's funny is even we're accepting the idea that if she wins, it's abortion, and if she loses, it's the economy. That's how we're framing it here. I mean, I'm not saying we're doing that intentionally.
Would you disagree?
No, but I'm just saying that's how it's being framed. We're framing it that way. I'm speaking of us, me, Mecca, and Dale. That's how I say it. So let's continue on. We'll have Cameron Smith with us here in just a second. We'll yell at him a little bit, and then we'll come back, and I'll give you the parting shot on the other side. Yep, lots going on here. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com. Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Well, welcome back to Alabama Politics this week. I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And we are having a spirited debate, but we're about to be joined by Cameron Smith, Vail.com. He's an Ale.com columnist, and we're thrilled to have him here. Cameron wrote a piece this week about the comment from the bloodbath thing, and he referred to gaslighting, which is actually lying, but we like to be clever about it. And the media, how they had a choice. They could have covered that story, or they could have done what they did. Cameron, your point was all of this was unnecessary. And Mecca and I just had a conversation about this as well. We're like, you could have fast forwarded 30 seconds or rewinded 30 seconds and found something else to pretend to be mad about. But they chose the most easily defended comment he made that day, and they tried to make a big deal about it. Explain your column to the people listening and watching.
Well, Dale, it's pretty easy. We teach our kids in grade school to read in context. They look for context clues. What's before something? What's after it? And that explains the meaning when you don't understand. The press could have just done that. Instead, they saw the word bloodbath, and they just said bloodbath over and over again, and they were like, hey, people will probably like that. And as it turns out, it was not a good choice.
But Cameron, I think we all need to admit here that both sides like this stuff. Both sides want to do this.
Yes, they want to, but it's wrong. And it's dumb,
fair.
and we scare people to death. We just scare people over and over and try to convince them, well, you're going to die, so you should probably give us your power and vote for us and do that thing. And it's just wrong. When you know something's not true, you need to explain the context. You need to say, hey, he really doesn't like cheap Chinese vehicles coming in via Mexico, and he's going to enact protectionist trade policies. That's a fair thing to say. But to say, well, he might kill all of you is just irresponsible. And yes, you can say both sides do it, but it's because scared people don't ask questions. Mm-hmm. Scared people don't use their brains, and that's what the media wants. They just want you to be dumb and do what they say.
And I'll go a step further here. The comments that they use and the way they tried to frame this, if this was completely flipped around and Republicans were saying that Joe Biden had said the words bloodbath in the exact same context, that you would have seen headlines that say, without evidence, Republicans claim Joe Biden's going to have a bloodbath and things of that nature. So there's a little bit of a flip here on who's given the benefit of the doubt and who's not. And I would make the argument, if I was in a newsroom, a national newsroom, because this is where the most of the problem is. If I was in a national newsroom, I would say, neither of these guys really deserves the benefit of the doubt. They're both pathological liars, and we need to be able to say that they are, but only when they're actually lying and doing bad things. And in this particular case, this just was not that. And you see sort of the benefit of the doubt being given to Joe Biden on things. Now we're even discussing whether or not Joe Biden has a stutter, which I never heard until 2016. And now it's this huge deal because every time he flubs and somebody mocks him, you're mocking somebody with a stutter. So it's like the protectionism here seems a little weird.
I'll put a fine point on it. It's just dishonesty, Dale.
Okay.
Like, it is dishonesty. It's why people hate the media. It's why when I write a column, I have to explain to people that I'm not trying to lie to them, that they do not trust the media right now. They do not trust anything we say. And by we, I mean people like you and Mecca and me who create commentary, write things and say things, and they don't know whether they're getting the truth. And it's incumbent on us to respect them enough to tell them the truth, give them a little context, and say, you know what? Trump puts his foot in his mouth all the time. You can wait till the next time that he says something really dumb. This was about trade policy. It's kind of a nothing burger, not really interesting. But yeah, he said the word bloodbath, so I guess we're going to scare people. It's wrong. We shouldn't do it. And this is coming from somebody who calls balls and strikes with respect to Trump. I'm not some kind of Trump MAGA acolyte, but I hate it when the media does this because it doesn't just undermine their credibility, it undermines yours and mine.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't get the moniker Alabama's most trusted journalist for no reason. Okay, there's a reason why I have that. But the funny thing is, Trump talking about the bloodbath, and you talk about tariffs and stuff. Normally, in a traditional world, if we went back 10 years, the media would be arguing for those tariffs, and the Republican candidate would be saying, "What are we doing? Free markets and all this other stuff." That's where they would be. Let's move on past that issue. I want to talk to you about Alabama going ban crazy, DEI, COVID masks, gay pride flags, divisive concepts, wingtip shoes, all these things.
Yeah, Dale would like to ban libraries. He said that in the earlier segment.
Like
just so you know.
I would like to ban all books. We've gone ban crazy in Alabama, and you know what? I love it. I think it's great. I think it's good politics for the conservatives, and it's a good fight to people to have about where our country's going in the direction of it. Do Republicans?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm more of somebody that says I prize free speech. I like people to be able to say and write and do whatever. The answer to bad speech is more speech in my mind. And I get it. I understand it. I mean, it is crazy, some of the content that folks are pushing into libraries and saying, no, we can't move this to the adult section. This has to be for kids. And it's like animated porn for kids. I mean, those people are what are causing this reaction. And then the media acts, particularly the left, says, oh, I can't believe it. They aren't for freedom. I'm like, you guys have created a situation where the freedom doesn't feel super free anymore, that you've just ruined it for everybody. And this is what happens. I still don't love the government coming in and being like, well, you can't say this or do that, because enforcement is just really uneven. It's very difficult. But, would I fund a lot of these DEI initiatives? Absolutely not, because they are discriminatory on their face. And the way I look at it is, if you take one race and substitute it for another race, and then it's deeply offensive when you say the same sentence, you probably shouldn't do that thing anywhere. And that's kind of the way I handle the DEI material.
Okay, Cameron, I hate to portray myself as the cynical one here, but I think it would be negligent not to also, acknowledge the aspect that this is it's good politics in super majority Republican Alabama.
Sure. I mean, the politics are there. And I think the teaching history is important. And some of Alabama's history is deeply problematic and steeped in racism. And those are things that we should acknowledge and say, look, we've made progress. We've moved away from the radical ensconced discrimination, and we still have work to do, and that's totally fine. But the idea that we take it even further and to say, well, you 8-year-old, you should kind of be ashamed of your whiteness, things like that. I don't care about your politics. If you're telling a kid that there's something fundamentally wrong with them because of the color of their skin, well, haven't we learned our lesson there, or are we just going to repeat headship?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there was an opportunity here about 2 years ago where people raised these flags and maybe this isn't a good idea that we're doing this. And the schools were like, oh, yeah, we're the teachers. We're going to do whatever we want. And then the legislators said, no, you're not. And that's basically where we are. And this is a reaction to their behavior. And that's how we got here. Cameron, we're out of time. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. And always brings a good perspective there. He's an AL.com columnist. Cameron Smith is gone. Show's about to get a lot better because Mecca's leaving too. Alabama politics this week. We'll be right back.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week I am Dale Jackson. We're about to get into the parting shot, but before I do that, let me remind you, yellowhammernews.com. You go over there, you can see my videos that I make almost every single day, and if you sign up for my email blast, you get the 7 things you should be talking about today delivered directly to your email inbox every single morning, Monday through Friday. So go check it out, yellowhammernews.com. But right now, let's go ahead and jump over to the parting shot. My parting shot this week is directed at all those people who, for some reason, wanted to have this big knockdown, drag-out fight about libraries in rural Alabama. It did not make any sense. You're seeing it in Prattville. You're seeing it in Shelby County. You're seeing it in Madison County. You are seeing it absolutely everywhere, and there is zero reason for this conversation. Here's how this should have gone. A bunch of people should have walked into a library and said, hey, these books are inappropriate for children. And then they should have gone through them piece by piece and been like, no, they're not, and yes, they are, and that should have been the end of it. Instead, we've gotten to this huge, stupid fight because anytime someone said, hey, we shouldn't have this, you had a bunch of groups pop up and start screaming about things. One of those groups, Read Freely Alabama. And the media loves these people because they show up at all the meetings, they'll give them a good quote, and then they will go away knowing that they're going to have a friendly read from the local media. And that's fine. I got absolutely no problem with that. But what is the end result of that? The end result of that is these groups become more empowered, they make more noise, and then the normies come out and say, okay, enough of this. We're not going to do this anymore. They get in the ears of the elected officials, and then you start seeing things come down. In this library in Prattville, 5 people have lost their jobs, over 25 library books. Now, it's nice that Caitlin Collins put them on CNN. That's very nice. And it's nice that they raised roughly $12,000 for those 5 people on GoFundMe, but those people have destroyed their own lives over 25 library books. And it makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't have to be this way. It should be reasonable, Alabama. Read reasonably, Alabama. That's where we should have drawn the line here. None of this had to go this way, and it's only getting worse because no one's being reasonable about this. You shouldn't want every book removed. You shouldn't want every book there. There's a compromise that needs to be had here, and we've lost the plot on that. And that's the real problem here, and it's costing people their jobs. And all these activist groups are cheering this on while lives are being destroyed, and that is really, really stupid. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching Alabama Politics this week and listening all over the state of Alabama. We'll talk to you soon.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.